So I have 25 questions total. And so the way that this is structured is it's based on who answers first gets the most points. So in principle, I don't think we need a time limit on responses since there's incentive to answer quickly. However, I think we decided that roughly a minute and a half per question. I don't expect it to take that long per question, but just so that if you need a hard deadline. And now that I think about it, Valeria, if your internet does go out, we may still, depending on the time, if it's within that interval, we'll wait for you anyways because you can still get a point for getting the answer correct. So that might be better.
Probably if the internet goes out, my chat, I won't be able to chat because I'm chatting through my computer, but I'll still be connected through my phone probably because I have data.
Gotcha. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So I'll just probably not be able to answer the question.
Okay. Is Kevin part of the one of the participants?
Kevin's on my team.
Oh, okay. That explains the wrench.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are waiting for a Max and a Brian.
Gotcha. And you said you've emailed them?
Yes, I have. Raul just spoke with them during his Python for Physics programming class that just ended at 3. And I immediately sent them the instructions, and then I'm just waiting for them to log in.
Okay. So Giovanna, do you want everyone to stay on the line until things officially start, or are we? How do you want that to go?
It would be great if you can at least leave the connection on. You can certainly take, just if you'd like to turn down your video and microphone, please do that. Just make sure that you come here a few minutes before 4 o'clock. But if you could please let everything be logged in, since we know that the connections work, we would appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, I just thought I'd ask for when the other students get here. That way, yes, everyone else doesn't have to hear the same pitch again.
So feel free to stay on or feel free to walk away and come back. I'll say like maybe 10 minutes before 4 o'clock, please. That'd be great.
And I'll start the stream in about 15 minutes. So officially as of like 3:45 moving forward, anything that we say or do will be broadcasted.
Okay. Thanks for the warning.
Got it. See everybody at 4.
So is everyone at least in undergrad? Yeah.
I am going towards my first year.
Oh, okay, awesome. In what?
In mechanical engineering.
Yikes.
I know.
That always looked difficult.
But I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds exciting. What about everyone else?
I'm grade 8. And
Grade
I'm
8?
studying food chemistry.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
If I didn't do physics, chemistry would have been the next. That was my second choice.
Nice. I want to be a doctor, but I don't have the heart, so I'm studying food chemistry.
Kiara?
I'm currently doing my bachelor's degree in industrial engineering.
In what kind of engineering?
Industrial.
Industrial, okay. I'm not sure I know the difference between industrial and like civil.
It's more like manufacturing.
Oh, okay. I see. That makes sense. Stefan?
Yes. I'm going into my junior year of high school, so I still haven't really decided where I want to go in college, but I'm thinking of going into computer science.
Do you already have some experience with programming?
Yes, I do. I have learned Python for at least a year now, and I'm proficient pretty much in it. I'm gonna do AP Computer Science next year too, so that's gonna give me a broader understanding of the subject. And I also came to some of the Python for physics thingies that were covered in this summer camp, so I
Awesome.
really feel like computer science is something I want to learn in more detail.
I'll end up asking all of you this again, just for so that the viewers have some kind of introduction to you all. But just while we're here, I thought I'd ask. Do any of you? So, what is everyone's team name? What do you want your team name to be? It could be your name. It could be anything. What's your team name? Okay, if you want it to just be your name, it can just be your name. Just do that for now.
Okay, my team name is just going to be my name then.
Okay, sounds good. It's Stefan, right? Make sure I'm
Stefan, that's what I.
Stefan.
Yes.
If I say anyone's name incorrect, please correct me. Yeah. I think one person's name who wasn't here is Max. I don't remember who the other one was.
I think it was Brian.
Brian?
I'm not sure. I think.
So how has everyone's summer been?
What? I didn't hear.
It's been what?
Stressful.
Stressful? Why stressful?
Because I'm taking a class, a summer class.
Yeah, our I guess a little bit more than half of our semester last semester was online. That was interesting. But last semester was my last semester of graduate classes, so anything from here on like forward doesn't really affect me too much. Seriously, whose idea was it to make the correct buzzer red and the wrong buzzer green?
Really?
That's wrong. That's right. So when you all are submitting your answers, I'll just address. I was going to address you by team name, which I guess is just your names. So I'll just say, Kiara, your response was correct or wrong. Once everyone else has submitted their answer, then we'll go over what the answer was and what I was accepting. You don't have to be 100% verbatim with what the lecturer said, but the overall topics that they presented, that should be what you focus on. Like there will be other right answers that may be wrong for this trivia night just because that's not what they talked about. So you may be right but wrong.
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I went to visit my grandmother's house and I lost for like a week of events, and I was able to catch up to some of them, but I'm a little lost on others.
Well, some of them, they were these presentations are for a general audience. So in some cases, you could almost guess what the answer is based off what makes sense. So these questions, some of them aren't as forgiving as others, like they're very technical and jargony, but others you could, if you missed one, you may be able to get away with it.
Like the guesstimation, I missed that one, and those are very specific, I think.
Yeah. Also, not all of the lectures, I should mention. Almost everyone submitted questions, but not everyone did. So not all questions or not all lectures will be quizzed on. So if you missed one, maybe you're lucky, or maybe you're not. If I zip out of some tabs, my connection.
Do I have time to go to the bathroom, or is it gonna start?
Oh, you're fine. You're absolutely
Okay. Be right.
Yeah, just a heads up. I'm looking at, I just see a paper right now. I lost the actual screen you had up.
Oh yeah, I'm exiting out of a bunch of tabs just
Copy
to
that.
help with the bandwidth a little bit. I hope. Seems like do I need to keep this one open? Or anything? No.
No, you can X that out.
I think that that's good. That should probably help. Looks like we have more. Oh, it's more tech support. Still no Max, still no Brian.
Everybody,
Hello.
how's everybody doing?
Doing well. I think a lot of people stepped away from the keyboard. I already gave all of the information.
Cool,
Give them a little break, but they're all here
awesome,
and their video and audio sounds great.
wonderful. Did everybody in the call, they signed the video release form?
Yes.
Sounds good. Did Brian, did the other two people get back to you? Joanna?
No, not yet.
Okay, sounds good.
So, Raul, just to give you the lowdown, quick lowdown, I have this little PowerPoint full of all the questions. I have the scoreboard. Everyone's team name is just their name. I explained all of the rules to them. We have this little correct and wrong sound effect. They're all going to communicate their responses via the private chat, and then I'm just going to address them directly and just give them the right or wrong sound, but I won't spoil any answers until everyone's submitted. That's about it.
Okay, sounds good. So, all right. Well, I'll just be silent on the background. So if you guys need anything, you let me know. But otherwise, just have fun.
Giovanna, I might ask you to generate a random number for the bonus questions.
I am all about generating random numbers, so I would.
There you are.
Awesome. All right. Well, don't have too much fun without me, but I'll be around.
Try.
Okay, everybody, I'm gonna start up the stream.
I'm gonna post in my community tab to make sure. All right. So we'll start promptly at 1:46. We'll give everyone else a few more minutes to shuffle in. And if they can't make it, then we'll. They were never here. Sorry, Sophie. I totally. You're sofa now. Sorry about that.
Okay, it's okay.
It's not on purpose. Scott, by the way, when people start submitting chats through the other website, how will that get to me? Will that be one of the moderators just writing it in the chat on here?
That's the way we've been doing it.
Okay.
I'm not sure who your moderator is.
This is Giovanna. I'm the moderator, and Raul Briseño is the facilitator.
How exactly am I facilitating?
I guess you're facilitating if any questions come in, right?
Sounds good, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on it. Yep.
Oh. So I wonder, are we just going to give Max and Brian a couple more minutes? We should probably place a cutoff so that we can explain the rules and everything before
Say
things
if they don't
officially
log
start.
in the next 3 minutes, we're not going to be able to have them participate.
How is that going to work, Scott? Is there a way for us to not let people in after a certain time?
Not once the meeting is set up. If they have if they have the link, they'll just be able to jump right in.
Sounds good.
Probably just have an email drafted to them. They'll just send in a few minutes.
Okay, I just emailed them, but I could say we're starting.
By the way, I have a fan on right now. Is that distracting in the audio?
No.
No, I can't hear the fan.
I keep wanting to fiddle with this screen that has the questions on there, and I have to stop myself because it's not time yet. But I keep wanting to scroll down, and I've been double checking everything for the past few hours. It's just a habit now. I need to stop. I need to chill out. Can you tell if people are shuffling in the live feed yet?
I can't see any feedback with regard to numbers yet. Tomorrow I'll be able to see what we had today.
Okay.
If we're streaming live, you can ask people to start sending messages and comments to say hi, see if they're there, and we can start.
I put out a post on my community tab saying that we started, so imagine you might get some.
Right.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and well, it's so asymmetric. It's disgusting. Oh, Brian showed up. Okay, good timing. Let's add him. Awesome. How's it going, Brian?
For some reason, I must download the Cisco WebEx first.
Oh yeah,
It's my first time.
no problem. So, assuming Max doesn't show up, I'll go ahead and explain the rules to you real quick before we get started and explain them again for the audience. So we have a series of questions that were pulled from various lectures throughout the past few weeks that you all have attended. And the rules of the game are pretty simple. This is not a turn-based trivia night. It's going to be who can answer the question the quickest. So if there are 5 of us, the first person to answer the question correctly gets 5 points. The second person gets 4 points, and so on. If you answer incorrectly, you do not get a point. All submissions need to be through the private chat. So if you go to the top of your screen and you go to the chat system, you should be able to direct your message to me, Andrew, and that will not be seen by anyone else. Okay. So if you want to, Brian, real quick, make sure that you've got that chat system down. Shoot me a message on there just to make sure you've got that. When you all have individually, when you submit your responses to the questions, I will address your name and I will give you either a correct sound or a wrong sound, and you can deduce for yourselves what that means Once everyone has submitted an answer, then we'll actually go over the formal solutions, the real answers to the questions. You don't have to be verbatim with what the lecturer said, but you do have to hit the topics that they intended you to answer it with. There's going to be various answers that are correct but weren't covered by the lecture. We're looking for answers that were covered by the lecturers. So you could be right but wrong because it wasn't in the lecture. But ultimately, the decision will be made by me. If I see if you're dancing around the right thing and you're pretty much right, I mean, you know, we want to keep this fun, so it'll be reasonable. Is there anything else that I'm missing? So I want everyone to feel interactive, like you can talk and you can talk about lectures and things like that. The only time I expect you to be quiet is when if you have family members or something present that you're discussing possible answers with. That I just want your mic to be muted. That's the only time I'd want you guys to be a little bit silent. Since this is a game where being quick to respond is the name of the game, I don't expect anyone to take horribly long with answering the questions, but just to have a hard cutoff, we're going to say 1.5 minutes per question. But what happened there? Oh, I messed up.
If there are questions that are multiple choice, do we just write like the letter?
Exactly.
Okay.
Switch the optimization. I want to stop doing that. I might share. Oh, am I not sharing? Oh, I am sharing the screen.
Yep, I see your screen.
Okay, I think it automatically switched to a different kind of optimization. Can you guys still hear this? No? Okay, so let me stop sharing and reshare with the right optimization. Share. Stop sharing. Just real quick. We should be good now. I got a message saying that my internet was being crappy again, and I accidentally switched the optimization. So you should be able to hear this now. Awesome. Right on. Cool. What time is it? 1:56. We got a few more minutes, but this will be the final head count of all of the participants. There's 5. At the beginning, I'll ask you all to introduce yourselves, what lectures you've enjoyed the most, things like that. But Giovanna's going to kick things off for us.
Hello, Brian. It's good to meet you. We're so glad you could join us as well.
Hi, nice to meet you all.
Guys, this totally gives away my email.
Sir, could you explain about the submission that we must let?
So as soon as I finish reading the question, there should be no submissions before I finish reading the question, just to give people time to actually hear what it is. Then you go up to the chat bar and you send me a private message of what you think the answer is. Okay. Then at the end, so once you send me that, I'll address you and I'll give you the either the positive sound or the negative sound, so you know if you're right or wrong. But you don't discuss answers out loud until the very end when everyone has submitted. And then we'll go through the answers and maybe we'll see what you all had to say about your answers. We'll go through them together. Because I guess no one else will be able to see what you said since it'll be private, so I'll just read them aloud.
Andrew, did you get them all to send you a private message to check that they're able to do it?
Yes. Just go to the chat bar. There's not a drop down that says private explicitly. Just click on my name in case you guys need a reminder.
Sending an email, I'm sorry, a chat to Andrew, Brian, so that you can test it out as well.
Oh, I thought you sent me one.
Okay.
Yeah, he sent me.
So I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Oh, he just sent me. Okay, good. Thank you for finding that out.
And so, Brian, that is where you're going to submit your answers. And basically, you want to do it as quickly as you can after he's finished reading the questions, because we will assign points according to who got it first, second, third, etc.
So as long as you all get the answer right, you at least get 1 point. If you get it wrong, you don't get a point. Your goal is to answer as quickly as possible.
All right, and so we're getting ready to begin. So I see that it's 3:59. So if you could, participants, if you could please make sure that your audio and your cameras are on, that would be great. Good evening and buenas noches. My name is Giovanna Gennard, Assistant VP for Strategic Communication and Marketing at Old Dominion University, and I'm a member of the REYES team. Today, we're hosting our very first REYES Trivia Night. You are 7,100 registrants from 119 countries around the world, have been learning from our experts about artificial intelligence, cube satellites in space, how to code in Python, and much more. And for the next hour, we want to help you put that knowledge and skills to the test from the first 4 weeks of the REYES Virtual STEM program. So we're very, very excited to have Andrew Dotson as our host, who in addition to being an Old Dominion University physics alumnus, is also a famous YouTube presenter with nearly 150,000 subscribers to his YouTube channel, where he breaks down physics concepts and makes light of the idiosyncrasies of academia, as he is currently pursuing his PhD in physics from New Mexico State University. So after earning his doctoral degree, Andrew hopes to become a researcher in theoretical nuclear physics. And for those of you who are curious about which specific area of physics, because I know everybody wants to know, he is interested in perturbative quantum chromodynamics, otherwise known as PQCD. I'm going to serve as your moderator, and my fellow REYES team member, Raul Briseño, will serve as facilitator. So please give Andrew and Raul a warm welcome by going to the chat and letting us know about your favorite REYES session to date and where you are joining us from tonight. We'd love to hear from you. We are so glad you're participating in this trivia night, and we look forward to a very fun night. So Andrew, why don't you introduce us to our global contestants, walk us through the trivia night, how it's going to work, and help get us started.
Absolutely. And thanks, Giovanna and everyone, for inviting me to participate in this. I think this is going to be a huge amount of fun. So I'll break down what the game is first, what this whole trivia night entails, and then we'll introduce all of the participants. So the rules are pretty simple. Over the past few weeks, you all have seen a series of lectures and sessions that have gone through a plethora of different topics in physics, biology, AI, as Giovanna pointed out. And today we've pulled a bunch of questions from those various lectures and thrown them into this little trivia night. Now, the rules of the game are pretty simple. There are 5 contestants, and here the name of the game is answering quickly. So if I give you a question, once I finish reading the question, you are free to submit an answer via the private chat so that no one else can hear what you think the answer is. If you get the answer right and you're the first person to be right, you will get 5 points. Since there's 5 people. The second person to get it right will get 4 points, and so on and so forth. If you don't get the answer right at the end, you don't get any points. But if you do, you're guaranteed at least 1 point. Okay, if once you submit your answer, I will refer to your name and give you either a correct sound or a wrong sound. For some reason, red means correct and green means wrong. I don't know. I didn't make this. That's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward. So for let's go ahead and introduce the participants at this point. The first one being Kiara. Kiara, thanks for joining us today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Kiara Rivera from Puerto Rico, and my favorite lesson so far has been Python for physics.
Awesome. And Brian?
Good morning from Medan, Indonesia. My favorite session mostly is Python for physics and Einstein relativity and cosmic tangle.
Oh, nice. Those are always crowd favorites. Sophia?
Hello, I'm from Mexico, and my favorite sessions were artificial intelligence and NASA. What are the new opportunities? Nice.
Valeria?
Hi, I'm Valeria. I'm 18. I'm from Puerto Rico, and I really enjoyed the Don't Panic session because even if it's not directly related to science, everybody struggles with stress and anxiety, and I really thought it was a great addition to the program.
Great. Yeah, it seems like you all have a variety of interests. I hope we get to quiz you all on all of them. Now, for these games, you don't have to be verbatim with the way that the presenter gave the information when I ask you a question. You just have to get the topic generally correct. Now, the big thing here is it has to be what the professor, what the presenter actually talked about. There can be questions that have answers that are technically correct, but the point is to hit on the topic the professor actually discussed. So whether your answer is right or wrong will ultimately be decided by me. But are there any questions before we get started? No? All right. Well, then without any further ado, let's go ahead and kick off Reyes Trivia Night. The first question. Yes? Did someone
Could I interrupt?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. I think we might have some technical issues. I think the broadcasting might have stopped.
Oh, okay.
Kevin, can you look into that for us and let us know, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
We're looking into it now.
It's good timing.
Yeah. Sorry. I think we might have stopped a couple minutes ago, a minute or two ago. So we might have to do introductions again.
Sure.
That's good.
Yeah.
We can start everything again if that's convenient.
Yeah.
And Andrew, also participants are wondering how they can play from home.
So can they hear me right now?
We're looking, we hope so, but we are looking into just to confirm that we are broadcasting as we're getting some reports that the broadcast may have stopped. So our colleagues in distance learning are confirming that information as we speak.
Okay, well, a great way to participate from home is you can actually submit your responses to the chat, the external chat system that we have set up. And throughout the night, maybe we'll look at various answers to see what other people have to say. Or other. It doesn't have to be necessarily an answer to the question. It could be comments on the topics that we're talking about, things like that. And we'll go through some of those.
Oh, they can see subtitles, but the the broadcasting is not working. So so maybe we can tell them, relax, we're working on it, and they can maybe read our text.
Kevin, can you confirm that you're streaming the social events link, please, which is where we were sending people and not the activity link? Thank you.
I just checked both, or neither is working.
Thanks for confirming.
Everybody stand by. We're going to try to get us reconnected.
Yeah, so the caption is working perfectly, so they see your our text as live.
See what?
They can see our text, so they can see our caption right in front of the screen, so we can tell them, relax, we're working on it. We'll get back to you in a second.
Everybody calm down.
Yeah, so we have a captioner, and we have someone who's captioning everything we say live. And so that's the way that people know that, you know, they've been able to read the captions, but they're unfortunately unable to see. And it looks like I see the live button going on, so it looks like we are live.
Okay. Maybe we can get some people in the chat confirming that they can see us.
No.
No?
No, you can't see it. I'm on both, so I can see the. Yeah, it's not there.
All right, Kevin, we'll wait for you. And when you let us know that it's streaming again, then I'll go ahead and get started from the top. Thanks.
It's streaming again, I think.
All right, we are back on track.
Awesome.
Everyone, we apologized about the temporary broadcast interruption, but we are back. So to make sure that no one misses our fun tonight, I'm going to get started right from the top. So good evening and buenas noches. My name is Giovanna Gennard. I'm the Assistant VP for Strategic Communication and Marketing at Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia, and I'm a member of the REYES team. Today, we're hosting our very first REYES night. You, our 7,100 registrants from 119 countries around the world, have been learning from our experts about artificial intelligence, cube satellites in space, how to code in Python, and much more. And for the next hour, we want to help you put that knowledge and skills to the test from the first 4 weeks of the REYES Virtual STEM program. We're very excited to have Andrew Dotson as our host, who, in addition to being an Old Dominion University physics alumnus, is also a famous YouTube presenter with nearly 150,000 subscribers to his YouTube channel, where he breaks down physics concepts and makes light of the idiosyncrasies of academia, as he is pursuing his PhD in physics from New Mexico State University. So after earning his doctoral degree, Andrew hopes to pursue a doctoral degree in physics as well. And for those of you that are really wondering what specific area of physics he's interested in pursuing, it's perturbative quantum chromodynamics, otherwise known as PQCD. I'm going to serve as your moderator, and my fellow REYES team member, Raul Briceño, will serve as facilitator. So please give Andrew and Raul a warm welcome by going to the chat and letting us know about your favorite REYES session to date and where you are joining us from tonight. We are so glad you're participating in this trivia and look forward to a fun night. So Andrew, why don't you introduce us to our global contestants, walk us through how the trivia night is going to work, and help get us started.
Absolutely, and thank you for the warm welcome and inviting me to participate in this whole thing. I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So I'm going to kick things off by describing what Trivia Night entails and how the game will work, and then we'll introduce the participants. So over the past few weeks, you all have attended a series of lectures in various branches of STEM, from physics, biology, AI, and today we're going to put that to the test. So we pulled questions from a bunch of these different lectures that we're going to quiz you on. And this is a game of answering quickly. So there are 5 contestants. If you answer the question correctly and you're the first one to do it, you will get 5 points. If you're the second person to answer correctly, you get 4 points, so on and so forth. If you don't answer the question correctly, you don't get any points, unfortunately. Now, one big thing about how this is going to work is you're going to submit your answers to the questions via the private chat in WebEx. That way, no one else can see what you think the answer is. If you talk about what you think the answer is with maybe a family member, please have your mic muted. Now, once you submit your response, I will call you by name and either give you a ding or a wrong answer. For some reason, correct is red and wrong is good. Just don't think about it. Once all of the answers have been submitted, we'll go over your individual responses and the correct answers, the formal correct answers for trivia night. So the
Caesar,
first,
how
Yep.
can people join from home? How can they participate from home?
a great way that people can participate from home is you can make comments on the questions that we are asking via the third-party communication software that we're using. It's independent from WebEx, I believe. So you can make comments on the questions that are being asked. You can submit your own answers, and then throughout this whole event, we'll be going through certain comments and addressing them, commenting on them. So I'd like to introduce the contestants now. So the first one is Kiara. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Gera Rivera from Puerto Rico, and my favorite lesson so far has been Python for physics.
Awesome. And then Stefan?
Hi, so my name is Stefan Popescu. I am from the US here, actually very close to ODU in Virginia. So probably my favorite lesson so far has been Python for physics, because I already have some prior experience with Python, and now that I'm also learning some of the physics portion of it, it's really helping to put that all into perspective. So yeah.
Awesome. Sophia?
Hi, I'm Sofia Navarro from Mexico, and my favorite lessons were artificial intelligence and what are the new opportunities at NASA.
Okay. And Valeria?
Hi, I'm Valeria. I'm also from Puerto Rico, and I also enjoyed the NASA opportunities as well as the mechanical engineering because that is going to be my field of study because I'm going to university. And I also like the Don't Panic session.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. And last but not least, Brian.
I'm Brian from Indonesia. My favorite lesson so far is Cosmic Tangle and Python for physics.
Okay, great. So it seems like the Python for physics has been a crowd favorite. One of the lecturers was actually my professor for computational physics in undergrad, so you guys are in good hands. All right. So if are there any questions about how this is going to work? No? All right, then let's go ahead and kick things off. So we're just going to start going through the questions. I'm going to read them. Once I finish reading them, feel free to submit your answer, and I'll call you by name, give you the correct or wrong. Once everyone is finished, then we'll go over your answers and the formally correct ones. Okay? Sound good? Let's go ahead and let's get started. Reyes Trivia Night. The first question is from Exploring Artificial Intelligence. What is the artificial intelligence called that is used in Google search? You don't need the complicated name, just the basic one. Okay. So Kiara, Valeria, Sophia, Stefan. Okay. So Kiara, Valeria, Sophia, Stefan. Is there anyone else that we are waiting for? I think that's correct. Oh, I don't have one from Brian yet. Okay, Brian passes. All right, so Kiara says rank brain, Valeria says rank brain, Sophia says BERT, Stefan says Google, and Brian passes on this question. And the answer is rank brain and BERT. So if you said one or the other, I think they're different iterations or the same thing more or less. So I accepted both of those answers. Google is not an appropriate answer because it's saying you use Google to Google things. Yeah. All right, question number 2. It was actually, sorry, so the first one to submit the correct answer was Kiara. So Kiara, you get 5 points. Valeria, you were the second, so you get 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we had Sophia. And finally, nothing from Stefan. Where's Brian passed? Oh, okay. Brian passed and Stefan got the correct answer. So moving on to the next question, which is also from Exploring Artificial Intelligence. Name one thing that IBM Watson can do. Only give answers that the presenter actually discussed. Okay, we got an answer from Kiara, from Valeria, from Brian, I think that's right. Tentative. Okay, I'm gonna have to look the one up for Stefan's answer. Let's give a tentative this. And we get, so I think that is everybody at this point. So been in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. The answer is assists with medical diagnoses, provides accurate legal advice, and beats Jeopardy contestants. Okay.
But the question is, does it beat Reyes contestants, right? I bet you not.
Let's Google it. Okay, so it looks like we'll give the correct answer to Sophia, who gets another 5 points. Additional 5 points here. She answered first. Kiara gets 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Valeria gets 1, 2, 3. Brian, automatic car. I don't see that as an answer, so I'm sorry, Brian. Can't accept that one. Can answer questions in a natural language. Also not on the list. So sorry. One thing that IBM is also notorious for is making random number generators that don't work. I think that they bypassed that problem at this point, though. Okay, moving on to the next question. Implantable and wearable biosensors. Why are nanobiosensors needed? A, because traditional sensors cannot detect biomolecules at all. B, because biomolecules move lightning fast and large sensors cannot capture them. C, because nanobiosensors do not require energy to operate. And D, because nanobiosensors can detect biomolecules at very low concentrations. Again, please wait on submitting answers until I finish reading the questions. The first one by some time was Stefan, because nanobiosensors can detect biomolecules at very low concentrations. So it seems like everyone said D, Valeria said B. So the first one, let's go ahead and go to the answers. I think what I'll do, I'm going to make a little bit of a change. We're going to go and read the correct answer first before I read all of yours and see what you had to say. So the correct answer is D, because nanobiosensors can detect biomolecules at very low concentrations. So the first one to submit the correct answer was Stefan. So Stefan is coming up. He's got the 5. Then we have Sophia, who gets 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kiara, 1, 2, 3. Brian, 1, 2. And Valeria got the answer incorrect, saying B. Now, one thing that I'm going to be doing throughout this trivia night that I neglected to mention is some of the answers and questions can be a bit technical and a bit jargon heavy. So I'll give you all the opportunity to earn some bonus points by explaining certain words that may appear in various answers. So 1 through 5, Giovanna, would you mind generating a random number for me?
I'd be happy to do that.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to have a number 1 through 5 going left to right here, and whoever gets the number will get an option. We'll get the opportunity to get this bonus question for 1 point.
Andrew, that random number is number 3.
All right, Sophia, can you give me an example of a biomolecule?
A protein.
Exactly. Yep, we got proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acids, they all count. So you got the answer correct. So that is 1 additional point for you. Not all questions will have bonus points associated with them, but just so that you know that is also a source of pointage. Moving on to the next question. And still from implantable and wearable biosensors. What are we referring to when we use the term personalized medicine? A, we have the right to choose our very own personal doctor. B, we are guaranteed by our doctors that our genetic information remains private and will not be shared. C, the ability to design medication to a person's genetic information so that the harmful side effects are reduced. And D, the cost of medicine factors in your ability to pay. Feel free to submit answers. We got one from Stefan. All right. So it looks like I have everyone's answers now. Yes, I do. Oh, so actually the first one was Valeria. Okay. So let's go ahead and read the answer. The answer is, I went ahead and put this blank screen in between every question so they couldn't accidentally show the answer. The answer is C, the ability to design medication to a person's genetic information so that the harmful side effects are reduced. So Valeria, I have the answer B from you, so that is incorrect. The first
No,
correct.
I put C.
You put C?
I sent C.
It was underneath. So I have B.
Last question I put B.
Oh, you are absolutely correct. I'm sorry. I had two back to back from you. Okay, so you answered last in the last question and first here, so I got mistaken. So yours was the first correct answer. Okay, so you get 5 points. Then we have Stefan coming in next, who gets 5 points. 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then Kiara, who gets 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Sophia, who gets 2 points. 1, 2. And Brian answered B, so unfortunately you do not get a point for that. So Kiara says, do we have to wait until you give out the options, or could we respond after you read the question? Thank you for asking that. Yes, please wait until I read out the options. That's part of the question. Sorry if I didn't make it clear. All right, moving on to the next one. We have a question from mechanical engineering. Why are wind turbines mounted so high above the Earth's surface? Feel free to answer. We got our first correct response. Counting to 5 has never been so difficult. I think I have everybody. Yes, we have an answer from everybody. The correct answer is because that's where wind speed is the highest. We want to place the turbine in the highest wind speed to get the maximum energy output. No shockers there. And the first correct answer came from Valeria because wind speeds are faster. So you get 5 points. We get the next one from Stefan, who says wind is stronger at higher altitudes. That is absolutely correct. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll go into your individual answers more explicitly when it's like this, when it's not multiple choice. If you're just selecting D, there's no reason to do that. Then we have one from Brian, to be able to extract more wind speed. That's correct. So that is 1, 2, 3. Then we have one from Kiara. They generate more electricity in higher winds. Okay, it's 1, 2. And from Sophia, she says, so we don't have interference between them. And that may actually have something to do with it, but that's just not the answer that we're looking for. All right. So on the next question, I think it might still be a mechanical engineering question. We get, when you consider results from a test, such as measuring propeller thrust in a wind tunnel, what must we consider in addition to the data and math models to understand accuracy? Feel free to answer. So you have the data, you have the model that makes the predictions. What else do you need to understand accuracy? We got a response from Brian. Got one from Sophia. I don't know how you answered that, but you are a fast typer. Got one from Stefan and Valeria. Okay, so the correct answer is, so we have the data, you have the math model. What else do you need to understand the accuracy? We need to know the estimates of uncertainty. That's something I want everyone who's watching to take away from this whole thing. A number without a plus or minus next to it is meaningless. You need to understand, you need to know the uncertainty in the measurement or the calculation. So we have the first correct answer was Brian, who said experimental error, so you get 5 points. Sophia says the moment you get that rotation of the blades, we also need to know about rotational rate of the propeller to get the performance and what the airspeed. So you're talking about kind of maximizing efficiency. Again, probably a correct answer, but just not what we were looking for here. Steph says size, and Valeria says instrumentation design and control variables. Whole bunch of things that I don't understand, but again, not exactly what we're looking for. So Brian was the only one to get this one correct in the sense of what we were looking for. Okay. I'm glad mechanical engineering isn't a question, because that answer is clearly voodoo magic that Andrew just doesn't understand. Next question. What are the new opportunities at NASA was the name of the talk. The question is, what is the Artemis program? Feel free to answer the question. No answers yet. Oh, okay. We do have answers. The first answer is from, the first correct answer is from Kiara. Okay, so let's go ahead and we have answers from everybody, and we have that the correct answer is a NASA program to return to the moon. Kiara's answer was NASA's plan for going back to the moon. That is correct, so you get +5 points for being the first one. Then we have one from Brian, go to the moon for the second time. So that one is correct as well, so we'll give you 4 points. Actually, I do want to comment on your response in just a minute. Sophia says going back to the moon. That's correct. That's 3 points.